Hello, everyone. Today is March 21, and Omizzle and I are chilling on a Sunday evening, 8:20, 9:20 p.m. for you. What time is it, Omizzle?
8:20, Jizzle.
8:20. This is one of the few times you're only 8 hours ahead of me, not 9. But today we are talking about HYGGE. Am I saying that right?
HYGGE. I don't know.
HYGGE.
Sounds good.
I will say this, Omizzle. HYGGE. I was calling it HYGGE. It reads HYGGE.
Me too.
But
HYGGE.
HYGGE actually sounds more fun to me. But maybe that's just.
Yeah, it sounds like HYGGE. Like hug is a bit strong. HYGGE is more like it's all cute.
Well, we'll try to pronounce it right. For any Danish people who are watching this, our apologies if we are butchering the word. The intent is there. HYGGE. And I should say this. I'm sorry for the delay. I was eating a pizza and catching up and getting ready. Omar was ready as always. It was all on me.
And
HYGGE.
You have to mention that you have ducks in your yard.
I do. The ducks have taken over the yard, which is kind of cool. I think they're lost because the nearest water is a good 2-minute drive, so it's not that far. But they made it all the way here. So they you know what it is, Omizzle? They sensed we were going to talk about HYGGE and wanted to be part of it.
I think ducks like you. That's it.
Omizzle, one thing that I want to start with is what is HYGGE? Because obviously today we are discussing the Little Book of HYGGE. But what is HYGGE? And for me, I learned about this word about 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago when I picked up this book. I had always known the Danish were the happiest or usually always rank as the happiest people in the world. So I always knew I wanted to study that. I believe in happiness, and I picked this book up a couple years ago. I knew it was a short read and read it and enjoyed it and learned a lot from it. So the question is, Omizzle,
yes,
how would you explain HYGGE to someone?
Very simple. It's a lifestyle. That's how I would explain it. You know, it's a lifestyle that gets you in a happy mood, you know, and makes you feel good. As simple as that.
Simple as that. Well, I love that definition. Here's the real definition.
That was a professional way to say it.
You did read it in a professional way. HYGGE is a quality of coziness and comfortable conviviality. Don't know that word. Omizzle, if I don't know it, I don't think you'll know it. But it sounds fun.
We say that in French.
You lying.
It's true. Convivial. That means like togetherness. Yeah.
It means together?
Like, yeah, like quelque chose de something convivial means something that you're with a lot of people. It feels good, you know, and it's all about love.
Well, you learn something new every day. Anyway, a quality of coziness and comfortable conviviality that engenders a feeling of contentment or well-being, regarded as a defining characteristic of Danish culture. I didn't know what the word meant, but that was the technical definition. But obviously, for those who did read the book, you learned what HYGGE means. And yes, it's a lifestyle that's peaceful, that's simple, that brings a lot of joy and contentment in everyday life, as Sue said. Omizzle, I have to be honest. It seems like even before you reading this book, you live in a very HYGGE way.
Jizzle, I think we're gonna stop saying HYGGE. Just say HYGGE. It sounds better. I feel like each time you have to say it, it's hard for you. Like, slow down.
The more you try something, the better you get.
Let's go with HYGGE. It just sounds cuter, but
HYGGE.
the intention is. So yes, Jizzle, to answer your question, you know something cool that they said in the book, because they go by chapters. So like they would speak about lighting, about clothes, about food, and in each chapter they would explain what is HYGGE about it. So what feels good about it. And you can see that the blue light here, and I have like a stone orange light in front of me. So it's a stone and inside you have light, and it brings out good energy. that is already, without knowing, Huggy way of lighting my house, the room. And I never put the real lights on. So the one you have on the ceiling, do not put those on. It's just not
You
good.
never put those on.
They don't look good. Like the lighting is different. It changed the mood. I only use these lights, and obviously the real light that comes out of the window. That's it. And candles.
This Facebook user says it sounds like a hug. So is it hug? Hug. Hopefully I'm closer. But talking about light, Omizzle, and the vibe lighting creates, it's one reason why most studios have colored lights and usually don't put on the bright lights to set a mood. But what I love is that's one of those rocks.
Yeah, that's it. So this Jizzle, this is so cool. Let me try and get it so you can see it better. So this right here is a rock. This is a special rock. It says that light inside, and it's very hot, and it just brings out good energy, you know.
Yeah.
Even lighting is cool.
There's a great quote. When Danes are asked what they most associate with hookah, an overwhelming 85% will mention candles. So obviously, as Omizzle was alluding to, the lights is what's huge, and how you manipulate light and use light is huge in creating a hookah lifestyle. Omizzle still is not liking the way I'm saying that, and Toria's laughing.
The way it sounds, it's not the way you say it, the way it sounds. I'll just go with Huggy.
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 Okay. Huggy. Well, anyways, whatever the word is, the pronunciation. We needed a Danish person to join and to talk and tell. So if there's any brave Danish, or if you've lived in Denmark, or if you know the exact word, reach out, let us know. But I don't know how we're going to bring someone in last minute, but maybe we can with StreamYard. But another big part of Huggy, saying it Omizzle's way, I'm going to just say it different ways.
That's the way you said it first, Jizzle. You said it Huggy. Yeah, you said it that way when you came in.
Huggy.
Yeah.
Home is central to social life in Denmark, whereas other countries have a culture of social life predominantly taking place in bars, restaurants, and cafes. Danes prefer himihugge, which is called home hugge. I feel so lost saying this, but I'm trying. But yes, it's the home. And one thing I've always, like I said, Omizzle, you seem to create that atmosphere. And I at least here in America, we tend to ignore this for the most part, at least not like the Danish or I think the rest of the world. We value, there's a great quote on it where it talks about how, I want to try to find it. Maybe I didn't add it, but I could read it because
with your TJ World 2.0, you didn't do it like on purpose, but you're actually creating a Huggy vibe.
Yeah. Why do you say that, Omizzle?
Well, because the way you're creating it, you know, you even want to bring like the signature light behind you. You want to make it as cool as possible with the standing up when you're on the computer, and without knowing every aspect of that makes you feel good, you know. So that's your place. It's your space. So you made a Huggy space, TJ World 2.0, without knowing it.
As you get older, you start to respect it, and I think like in every book we've reviewed and talked about, it starts to infiltrate and penetrate how you do things and how you decide things. So I think that and of course your inspiration, you're big on that, so that always helps. But the quote I wanted to read is know the importance of where you live. In other words, mine's saying to know the importance of where you live, but the quote is, in other words, what freedom is to Americans, thoroughness to Germans, and I don't want to read this part, but it is in the quote, and the stiff upper lip to the British. Huggy is to Danes, and it's something they value and believe in and swear by and really make it part of their lives. And I think that is the reason why they are the happiest people in the world year in and year out. So this book taught us, as you said, Omizzle, gives you a lot of cool little secrets on how to become more Huggy in your world.
Yeah.
What was the big thing you took away, Omizzle? What do you think you will grasp and learn and utilize in your life from this book?
Just what's funny is that because you suggested this book, I think, and so I read it last night, but I didn't know what I was going into. I didn't know what HYGGE was, and I didn't read the story of what it was. So I actually learned all about it, and I was like, it's funny because all this stuff I was doing before even reading, this book, but I wasn't doing it because I knew HYGGE. I just do it because that's the way I felt. Makes me feel good and happy, and I'll always try to be in a happy space. Putting up candles, the lighting, always feeling good.
Yeah. I think another thing that, here's one more quote, and this quote was too big to put in, but this is one that touched for me, what was big for me. It says, work later than 5:30 and the office is a morgue. Work at the weekend and the Danes think you're mad. The idea is that families have time to play and eat together at the end of the day, every day. And it works. Duncan bathes and puts our 14-month-old daughter, Liv, to bed most nights. They are best buddies as opposed to strangers who try to reacquaint at the weekend. And for any parents out there with families, if you are finding yourself, overworking or spending too much time away from your family, I just love this advice, is that we have to make sure we're connected with our loved ones so that we're not trying to reacquaint with them on the weekends. So there was a lot of great, simple advice and tips that this book gave that I think will help you live a more fulfilled life, not only for yourself, but your family. And it was important. Sue mentions, can we go back to Miss Sue? Let's see. We will find it. There it is. Light your candles, wrap up snuggle blanket, hot chocolate on cold nights. That's the HYGGE feeling. So it's a vibe, it's a feeling, and it's an important thing to utilize, and not utilize, but it's an important thing to put into your own life for happiness. Here's another great quote from the book. You cannot buy the right atmosphere or sense of togetherness. You cannot HYGGE if you are in a hurry or stressed out. So it's important that you are chilled, relaxed, and feeling good to HYGGE properly. So it's not something just because you got your candles or the lighting. If you're stressed out, you're not going to feel that sensation, the HYGGE world, the HYGGE loveness. So make sure you are at peace, and make sure you're finding a way to relax and not hurry in life.
So Jizzle, what is a HYGGE vibe for you?
Hoodies, laying down in the couch, watching maybe my Spurs, and having family or friends either around me, or with the pandemic, I've learned either socially through FaceTime and Skype, and just relaxing, just being able to laugh. Similar to Miss Amy, she says we watch Netflix, have snacks, and snuggle up with hot water bottles. Just relaxing. And I think, truthfully, the pandemic helped me in that way. It slowed my life down. I was on the run every day, all day. And although I'm doing a lot more, it seems like, I've been able to slow down. I used to play tennis with the girls every day from tournaments and coach their basketballs. And, I was trying to live, because I want to be a father. I want to be a present father and a great father as best as I can. But I've learned that I don't need to take on so much outside of our world, outside of our home. It could be done at home. So I'm going to do some modifications to our schedule once things open up, and just try to simplify things. I think that was a big takeaway for me. I was overcomplicating things, and I think that can stress you out and pull you in a completely different direction than HYGGE. So yes, I plan to chill and just incorporate my vibes to my family more.
Nice.
This is a good question from Muriel. She says, what do you plan on doing more after reading this book? I think I kind of just answered. Relaxing more, hanging out. I've been on a hoodie kick. I didn't used to wear hoodies like this, but they're comfortable. Even on warmer days, I like my hoodie. I feel like I'm in a blanket. And you saw me a couple days ago, Mizzle, when we had a Skype talking. I had the ET vibe going on because I had a blanket and the only thing Omizzle could see was my face, and the lighting on the in the room, I think made me have an ETS vibe, maybe riding in the basket in the middle of the night. So I looked like ET.
Uh-huh. And
Right,
Jizzle,
Omizzle?
I think when you were born, you came out with a hoodie.
I swear I didn't wear it this much, but now I'm
Feeling
truly,
good. Huh?
truly I'm loving it.
Yeah.
For me, this is from Michelle. For me, it's being around my family and friends, listening to T Jizzle and Michael Jackson songs. Watch Beyond Words. It's awesome, Michelle. Thank you so much. But yeah, it's being with your loved ones and simple things. I think that is super huge. And again, Hoogie is about giving your responsible, stressed out achiever adult a break. Relax. Perfectly said. To me, this could be the most, at least for me and a lot of Americans I know, this is probably the most important quote you will get. Hoogie is about giving your responsible, stressed out achiever adult a break. Relax. And Omizzle, I know I've mentioned this to you that I am leaning on moving to a different state, and at least exploring whether it's Texas or whether it's out of the country. For the first time, Mexico came up, but you've known about Spain, and I think it's because it's a slower pace of life, and if you're not careful, you will fast forward and you'll be 60, 70 years old and on this treadmill. And I think it's important to slow down and make sure you are happy where you're at. And although I love where I'm at right now, the idea of maybe even a slower, healthier pace for myself and my family is very exciting.
Jizzle, when you were, this could be a like question. When you were like on tour at the time, and it was always moving around with people all around you, do you remember like having like a little hoogie thing that could make you just be with yourself and feel good at that time?
Not necessarily, Omizzle. I wasn't thinking that way. I was, especially on tour, I was a senior in high school, so I was worried about graduating and making sure my next school was lined up and where I was always on the go, and we spent a lot of time in Europe and with my uncle, so I was every day was something new and exciting. But what's interesting is again, and I think it's the whole way I'm doing this journey. I'm doing it from a more enjoyable. There's a hummingbird. That was really, yeah. I feel like I'm at a zoo. I'm seeing ducks and hummingbirds. But yeah, I'm doing the whole journey in a more enjoyable, satisfactory, slow way, and it's been very enjoyable for me. I trust me, the run in the '90s and the early 2000s is something I will always cherish and love. But at the same time, I don't remember it the way I should. And I feel I'm going to retain more of this journey than I did the last one because I'm slowing it down and taking it minute by minute instead of just always looking ahead. So that would be my answer, Omizzle.
Yeah, you do feel excited when you open the CD, you saw the vinyls. It's just like a great feeling. That's all you have, just being happy with that.
It's important. It's important, and as you get older, you start to realize how vulnerable we are as humans, and we can't take tomorrow. Tomorrow's never promised, so we have to enjoy every moment. And I think that's another reason why I connected with this book. It's about slowing down and keeping things simple, and I think we can always utilize that reminder.
Yeah.
Here's a great quote from the book: "Happiness consists more in small conveniences or pleasures that occur every day than in great pieces of good fortune that happen but seldom." What do you think about that quote, Omizzle?
I'm just reading it again. Yeah, so you can find happiness in small little things. It doesn't always have to be big, the big house, the big money. It can just be something very simple. Just like you said in the book, just lighting up a candle. It's raining outside, drinking a hot chocolate, watching a movie. That's simple.
Omizzle, why do we, as in humanity, why do people sometimes confuse that?
Well, I think it's the society that confuse people in thinking what can make you happy and what really makes you happy. I can tell you right now that having a big house will not make me happy at all. I can tell you right now, the 3 million big house will not make me happy. I'll be more happy in this small little space because everything surrounding me makes me happy, you know? So it's more about what's surrounding you more than what context you are in. That makes sense.
Omizzle, not only does it make sense, I think it's so important you say what you said. Because you have someone like me who's lived in big houses, small houses. Um, I was laughing because I know Omizzle. Nothing. I
Why are
won't
you
share
laughing,
that.
Jizzle?
No, I'm not going to share that. But
What happened in your mind?
no, I'm not going to say that because.
Okay.
But anyway, I've lived in big houses and I've lived in smaller homes, and I can honestly say, not only do I enjoy the smaller homes more, but I enjoy I enjoy it because it's so healthy for the family, but it's also it builds more connections, and I think um, it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. I'm the person who's very simple. You know, I have my TJ world to get away, but at the same time, I love being able to see my family and spend time with my family. And you know, the big homes, the all the expensive toys that people lust for or want, just detracts from that main important core. So we do have to remember to keep it simple and to keep an eye on where our motivation is and what why it's that way. Um, I don't know if I don't maybe I asked this in my head. If I already just asked this, just say Jizzle, you just asked that 5 minutes ago, so I apologize. But I wanted to know, Mizzle, why does society push that on us? Why do we? Did I ask that?
Jizzle, you just asked that 5 minutes ago.
Don't
No, I'm
mess with
joking.
me. Did I? Oh, Mizzle,
Um,
you could have been completely honest, and I would have said, "I'm sorry. I told you. I warned you." But yeah, I want to know, Mizzle, why do we as a society fall into that trap?
well, why does society want us to fall in the trap, and why do we fall in that trap? That's two different questions. But I think that, I don't know. It's just hard to explain. It's very hard to explain. Well, if you fall in that trap, I mean, I can't help you. It's about how you've been educated, who the people around you, what you've been taught in life. I think that is the thing. If you fall in that trap, you haven't been taught the right things in life.
But you
Because
you can relearn it though.
yeah, you
You can
can
learn
relearn
it.
it. You can relearn it. You can see it by yourself and see that maybe it won't make you happy to have that
Yeah,
$100,000 car, you know?
it's true. It's true.
So
I think that's exactly right. Be happy. I was just about to say it's consumerism. I wasn't going to use that word, but I think businesses and the money has changed
the money.
our core in a very capitalism. There you go. Is the biggest enemy in some ways, and I could say this as an American. There's so much, um, there's so much trust and love and obsessiveness with capitalism. And I think it's, you know, obviously it has its benefits. It creates, you know, it creates things and it improves things maybe more so than other forms of you know, other forms of economy, I guess I'll say. But in my opinion, it also has its failures. You know, I was reading a quote earlier from Bernie Sanders, who tweeted that people, Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, make up 40% of the wealth in my country.
Mhm.
Um, I think that's what it was, or it was either that or that they have. I should just look up the tweet, or they have more than 40% of the population. Either way, I mean,
Either
that's
way,
the same thing. Is that saying the same thing?
no, but either way, I mean,
Whatever.
yeah,
Either way, it's sad because we have people homeless. We have people trying to get a meal, and it's like our balance of what I don't know. I don't want to go too far down this road because it could take away from Hoogie. But the
no, it
problem
won't.
but
You're in it.
I'm in it. But the
You're in it.
problem is if you obsess over finance and stuff and don't share and don't give and don't lift up the whole society and your peers, it can cause problem and come to bite you in a different way. And I think everyone else, the main takeaway from what I'm trying to say is that we have to respect the importance of relationships and helping our loved ones and just experiencing good times versus material things. Yes, Caroline. She says, on the other hand, I love me a good sale. Yes. And here's the thing. I think you should have your exciting splurges and what you really want. And sometimes it can be expensive. If there's this specific card or TV that you really want and you're going to spend a lot of time on it or an iPhone, get it. But when with the point is for me is when it's coming to an everyday thing and you're always needing the biggest and best of something to feel fulfilled, you have to readjust your mentality. Otherwise, you're as you get older, you're going to realize that it's hurting you more than it needs to.
And Jizzle, I think here's another thing. I think a lot of people compare their lives to what they see online, especially in these days with Instagram and, where people are showing a lot of their wealth and their lifestyle. And, so you compare your life to that and you're like, my life is maybe not as good. You have to know that that's just like a second of their life. You don't know the rest of their life. Maybe they're not happy. Maybe they're just showing you what they want you to see, So you should never compare your life to what you see online because that's just virtual. And saying that, Jizzle, I remembered we talked yesterday, I think, and I sent you this quote that I really liked. Let me try and see if I can put it back in.
Yes. When God...
That to me, if people think like that more, all these billionaires, let me try and get it. There you go. Can you read it?
Yes. When God blesses you financially, don't raise your standard of living, raise your standard of giving.
Yes.
Yes.
Always give. Always give back. Always.
Omizzle, I'm thank you very much for sending that.
I love
Very
that.
true is from Amy. And Angie says, where is it? Angie says, yes, Omar. So yeah, I completely agree with you. And I think
isn't it the best thing to just give back?
It is. I was gonna say I feel like we as a society are getting more there, but maybe we're not. Maybe.
So, Jizzle, what made you think that maybe we are getting there? What came up in your mind? I'm curious to know. Something came up in your mind.
Something did came up, but it kind of fleeted away why I felt that way.
I know there's a lot of stuff going in your mind right now. The dogs, the pizza, the stuff.
I feel if I think about 100 years ago, people were a little more... I don't want to say we're more selfish because I feel people are more selfish now, but I feel like the wealthy people were more selfish maybe.
So here's my question. Are people like less selfish because they can actually show that they're giving money away?
I actually think you are right on. With social media and the news spreading, it's easier to show how you're giving or what you're giving, and you lose the whole purpose of why you're giving. It becomes more of an ego thing.
Because I'm thinking, what if those same people were not filmed? What if they never told anyone that they give all that money? Would they still do it?
Yeah, well, it's a very good point. See, but I feel like back in the day, hundreds of years ago, it was all about getting my name on places, on buildings and university. And I feel like, take Bill Gates, for example. He's trying to eradicate certain diseases and make an influence, and sure, he has the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. But to me, when you're naming a foundation, that's not what I'm saying. But if Bill Gates instead bought the biggest building and named it, Gates Tower or something like that, and that's a little bit different motive, right? But I don't know. I don't want to judge people. But the point I want to make is that there's beauty in simplicity. Yes, I was just reading the quote, but there's so much beauty in simplicity, and we have to remember that. Another quote that I thought was great from the book is, adults are not supposed to play. We are supposed to stress, have worries, and be too busy dealing with life's problems. But if you think about it, we are happiness when we are involved in engaging leisure activities. Obviously, the first part of the quotes was a little sarcastic. Well, that wasn't that it was sarcastic. It was just calling us out. But I think the key is that we have to remember that it's the leisure activities that where we usually are kind of lost and enjoying and looking forward to it. So try to increase those leisure activities and don't overwork yourself. Obviously, everyone's family is different. If you're in a time where you need to, shore up your financial being and figure a way, which is very popular right now because of the pandemic and jobs being lost. But once you settle into a good space in life, make sure you are enjoying the simple things and putting the focus there, because sometimes we fall into a trap. If we start with not much and then make some, we get obsessed with that and we want to make more and we want to make more and we want to make more, and the next thing you know, you're of a higher age, or you have a serious health issue that's limiting your life. So enjoy your life. And that was also one reason, Omizzle, why for me it was important for homeschooling. I wanted to travel with my kids. I wanted them to be able to be with their cousins, and go to Mexico and extend a trip, or spend, we spent 3 weeks. They couldn't really go to school now anyway because of the pandemic, but I don't want that to change. I don't want, even in a regular world, if we want to go to Denver, Colorado, because one of my kids, or Montana, Royals into Montana, I want to be able to go and enjoy Montana in a very simple way. We don't have to stay at the most expensive hotels. We could stay at a simple place and walk the nature, go visit parks. And I think that is what's key, is to not only experience that, but to teach our kids that mentality. And I'm big on this, and I wanted my kids to feel that. Whereas if they go to regular schools, they're going to be into the newest and best gadgets and the pop culture and all that, all the flashy things. And I think it's teaching our kids the wrong way to think in life, and it could set them up for a more difficult and sad life, which is maybe why our depression's higher than ever, and suicide rates and stuff. So I'm all about happiness and enjoying things and loving life, and that's, I went on a bit of a rant, but I just think it's important to say that.
Jizzle, that goes back to your question, like, why do people, think having like all these big stuff is going to make them happy? And I think it starts in the school. Like, you need to have the best shoes brand, you need to be dressed in this kind of style. So all the kids influence themselves between them, sorry. And so one day your kid says, oh, Dad, I want this brand, I want this because it's going to make me cool. If I don't get it, people are not going to accept me for who I am, So I think it starts even from there. And the decision you took for homeschooling, I think, is the best one you did.
Well, that means a lot. So thank you, Omizzle. And it's funny because, Rio doesn't really know, but JoJo loves it. She loves it. She loves the fact that she spends time with her families. And Dee Dee has her, good days and bad days. Dee Dee's more of an extrovert. She loves her peers. She loves her friends. And I don't think she's so much of a follower. She loves her anime and Japanese culture. She's been loving that for years now, even when it wasn't as popular as it is today. And still, even in most of America, I don't think it's as popular as you would see here in California. But I just think it's an important. We as parents have to help our kids become the best people they can, and I want them to have good heads on their shoulders. That's more important than whether they understand how to do a very complex math problem or not. By the way, you are vibing over there, Omizzle. You are in the hygge.
Oh yes,
hygge with your. That is your knee up, right?
That's my arm. Look,
that's your knee.
No, I'm joking. Wouldn't that be a weird arm? Hello.
Yeah, you're chilling, and like I said, Omizzle, you are, to me, the epitome of hygge, because you're always in a vibe. You're always just enjoying life, creating and making cool stuff. All right, let me find another quote, and then we could wrap up soon. But this is another quote. There's just a lot of quotes I wanted to share. While basic living standards are essential for happiness, after the baseline has been met, happiness varies more with quality of human relationships than income. I love this.
Yeah.
And I actually think it could be a lot of different things that happiness can vary more with. I
Mhm.
just think we have to remember that once our essentials for happiness, once our essential living standards are met, we have to really be smart and on it about what makes us really happy. And it should be things like human relationships. It should be things like creating. It should be things like, nature walks, or even watching your favorite shows. It shouldn't be so materialistic base. And
Mhm.
it's funny because Francis and I were just talking about this. It's yeah, she won't mind if I share. This is kind of a family roast thing. Maybe we'll make a family roast post. But we are debating. We notice how much Dee Dee loves to paint. She loves to paint, and as we're getting her room together, she wants to. She hasn't even really said it, but Francis is like, I want to get her easel and painting stuff in her room. She said, I'm just so scared because if she paints, she won't do any of her schoolwork, or she'll get so sidetracked, she'll get so lost in it. And it's so interesting because this is the difference between Jizzle now and Jizzle 15 years ago.
Mhm.
The Jizzle now says she should paint. If that's what's making her happy and that's what her passion is, that's what she should do. We send our kids to schools in hopes they find their passion. And but if we have kids that are at young ages showing their passion, I think that's what needs to take priority and to support it.
What
Yes,
what would have you sent 15 years ago? The
I think I
contrary?
would have said you can paint, but
Yeah.
you first got to make sure your schoolwork is done. And yeah, that would have been me 15 years ago. I think that change has come in the last 8 years. I was big on school. I went to a great school as a kid,
Things
and
change.
I think it's helped me. But at
Yeah.
the same time, I think times have changed.
Yeah.
Times have changed. You can learn anything now on YouTube. You can learn anything with a passion. Back when I was a kid, you had to hope, we had encyclopedias, but you had to look up a definition. You
Yeah.
had to, with a book, you had to, it's completely different now. And I think the more people who can embrace that and just let their kids blossom into what they want to be and help them find their passion,
Mhm.
it'll be just better, not only for the family relationships, but for that child's life standards. And I don't know. I just think sometimes we forget that. And if you feel it's going to cause more stress, then maybe you're not living in the right place.
Yeah. I agree.
So did that answer shock you though, Omizzle? If I said 15 years ago, I wouldn't have stopped
No,
my
no,
kid from
no.
creating.
It does
I
not
would.
shock me. It does not shock me. I think you've always think kind of that way. It's just that you realize maybe in the meantime that it's changed. The way school is, and why you've seen it, but you've seen how it's changed and how it impacts people in a different way than when it was in your time. That's why now you're doing the homeschool. And you've
Yeah, and
been right to
and
do that.
and this year was our first year homeschooling. I've been wanting to homeschool for 4 or 5 years, and you know, um, yeah, Caroline says my daughter learns way more traveling and exploring with me than she does in school. You are not alone, Caroline. And um, what I was saying was that this is our first year homeschooling, so it's not perfect. We haven't figured everything out, but I love the freedom and the family connection. It's cultivated, and we've always been a strong family. But even now, I think it's stronger than ever, and I think it's a beautiful thing. I think peers sometimes in schools learn to not, I don't want to say not respect, but to maybe to not listen to family, and there starts to become some type of tension that I don't think is completely necessary. Sure, your kids are going to want to do things on their own, especially when they become that teenager. But we still have to make sure we are embracing their passions and letting them live their life in a solid way. These sorts of books are my escapism while also being informative and even life changing. Absolutely, and that's how this started. This whole Beyond Words thing, right? Omizzle, we Omizzle was
Wait,
asking.
we
How
have
did
to
this
tell the
start?
story of how this started. This
Go ahead,
started in
Omizzle.
a fraction of a second.
Tell us. What's the story?
Well, we here's the thing. Jizzle and I Skype probably every day for the last year. So, and at one point we always talk about a movie. Jizzle, you recommend me a lot of books. And I still thank you for this because you send me this Kindle.
Life-changing. It's great, isn't it?
It is. Now I can read in the dark. So all of that we're talking about. And one day I don't know. It was just like, let's just do a show and talk about movies and books and, you know, stuff. And just like, all right, boom, let's do it. Let's open the account. Let's do this. It's Facebook. So we did everything, and that's how it just came in, you know. Pretty cool.
And what I love about it, Omizzle, it encourages, you know, people to read and people to learn and see different things. And that's one thing I love what we're doing is we embrace different cultures of movies. You know, I know you are a film connoisseur and you love to watch different things from everywhere. You know, you're always open to learning and seeing different things up. So, and I am too, and I've actually always been like that. I've always loved foreign films. So I think that will always still be the vibe of Beyond Words, is to learn about different things and watch different types of films, but also to read different types of books and to expand. And I feel like it's a perfect marriage between being in social media and being tied to the future, but also respecting the simple importances. Otherwise, if you just follow social media, you'll only know 5 things and, you know, memes and popular things, but there's more to it. And that's what we like to do here with Beyond Words.
And lately, Jizzle, you saw like a French movie, right? That maybe is going to be inspired for a next music video.
100%. 100%. And that was before the pandemic, right before. And that was before Beyond Words for sure. But yes, there was a French movie Omizzle told me to check out. You told me about that one, right?
No. You sent me the title. You said, did you have you seen this movie? I was like, yes. So in the theaters. And I think then you just saw it. And so did you see it like at home or in a theater?
No, I saw it in a theater. Me and Francis.
That's really cool.
We before the pandemic, we go to a movie, you know, a couple times a week, just us, on like a little date. And it was fun. We saw a lot of different culture films. And like you said, that one in particular sparked an idea for a music video for one of our songs. And so I told Omizzle, actually just yesterday, the day before.
It was yesterday, just.
Well, I actually forgot about it. And I saw actually an Instagram post. I think someone maybe sent to me. One of you guys out there sent me something. And I was amazed by the artist, and I looked through the artist stuff and it's like, yes, the idea is there and this is what I want to do. So yes.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay, anything else, Omizzle? We're at 43 minutes. Anything else we want to say before we let go?
Well, for the book, I do have something to say, but for the book, we're good. If you have something else,
I don't think no, we've touched on everything HYGGE related. I know I butchered that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so HYGGE was a great book. Thank you for showing me that book. That was great.
Omizzle, one thing I want to say, because we touched on this. Danes have relatively short working weeks and get free healthcare and university education on top of 5 weeks of paid holiday per year. Remember, they are the happiest people in the world.
And the answer is in that code.
So just make sure you are respecting what is truly important in life, and that is our happiness. That's it, Omizzle. Now you take it away.
Jizzle, I just wanted to say congratulations on the CD, on the release of the vinyl. I know we talked about that, but let me make it official. So I just want to say congratulations. It's been a year. So this is just a year of work, you know, and you did a lot in just 1 year with all the songs, music videos, you know, just making it happen. And I respect that a lot from artists, that you make stuff happen. So when you say it, you do it. And I love that. So congratulations for the CD. It looks beautiful. I'm still waiting on mine.
You haven't gotten yours yet?
Probably tomorrow, I think. Toria said probably tomorrow. I get it.
Okay.
I'll call you when I get it. And of course, we have the vinyl, right?
Yes.
The beautiful vinyl. It looks amazing. I love it. So thank you.
Well, Omizzle, you're thanking me, but really, I have to thank you because A, you created and designed those, and B, you're the one who suggested it early. And it's like, have you thought about this and that? And it's like, yeah, but it's like, no, we got to do this, and I want to thank you for like I said, just taking everything I'm doing and putting it on a whole nother level and making it as beautiful as it's been. Ever since I was just telling Francis when I first saw the cut, I think she asked, how did I connect with you? This was this morning? But anyway, I'm not going to give everyone that full story yet. But I will say, I knew I wanted to do my first video in France, Insomnia.
Yeah.
I want to do the Insomnia video in France. I've mentioned that many times.
Yeah.
And when we connected, it was when I saw the first, because you never know as an artist, you don't know what the final product's going to look like. You have a good idea. You can see, I was probably hovering the camera. What's the guy? I don't know what the guy's called, but the guy who has the actual picture on the set. I was probably hovering and looking at what the shots were looking like, but I never knew what the full version, especially the fact that I had to sing the verses in double speed. But I'll never forget it. We were driving from Calabasas to Corona, and I got the email saying the first draft is ready. And I was like, oh, here we go. Should we wait till we get somewhere? I was like, I can't wait. I got to watch it. So I put it on, and I was like so happily impressed. And, I was showing, Francis was driving. I was just like giving her sneak peeks, and she's like, that looks good. But yeah,
Francis was like, I'm out. Goodbye.
No, she was happy and proud. And what was so cool. And I was like, and I'm going to share this, Omizzle, but I've worked with a lot of great directors, but the thing is, you were a different level because you had a sense of perfectionism that I loved while still being so chill and still embracing some things just may not happen the way you want. And a perfect example is we had already been set on the Insomnia video. I know this has nothing to do with HYGGE at this moment, but it's okay. We're just talking. But we were so set on the video. And then I remember, Omizzle, you called or reached out and were like, I tried something new for the second verse. Let me know what you think. And then it was the floating flowers, the floating roses. Yeah. And I was like, this guy's amazing because it's already amazing. And he's taking it to another level in a chilled way. And it's ever since that. And the rest was history. Now, I haven't done a video in a year because I haven't seen this guy in person in a year. But Omizzle's officially the creative genius behind my stuff. And I'm waiting because there's stuff I want to do with MMM. And we're going to create something really cool visual for that project. And I just want to thank you, Omizzle, for being that person to do it with.
Thank you, Jizzle, and thank you for always making it happen. So that's the thing, because we can always talk, but people never make stuff happen. You got
it. Life's too short not to. All right, that's it. And we have to, since we're saying thanks everywhere, we got to give a special thanks to Miss Doria. For without her, this not only for my music stuff. Yeah. She's obviously helping with all that stuff, but also for Beyond Words. Toria is the one who helps us put together, and she's the one who structures it. So big thank you to you, Toria.
Toria, without you, we cannot do it. We would just be.
She's still, Toria, do you want to come on for a second?
Come in, Toria.
Okay, she said. So the world needs to see her cool hairstyle that both me and Omizzle complimented. Without even knowing. Omizzle was on first, gave her a compliment. I joined the call, gave her a compliment.
You said it the exact same way. She was getting the double Omizzle Jizzle compliment. It was like boom, boom.
Yeah. It looks great. All right. Without much further ado, here's Miss Toria. Toria.
Hey, guys.
So a big thank you to you for everything you've done, not only for me, but for Beyond Words.
Oh, you're welcome, guys. You're welcome.
Anything else you want to say, Toria?
No, big congrats to both of you for the wonderful vinyl and the wonderful CD. I love it.
Let's do the vinyl.
Yeah, the vinyl is great.
Now let's say this because people may not know. Victoria is the one who ships the vinyls, and we have to give her special thanks because she explained to me how long it was to ship one vinyl. And I'm like, Victoria, we cannot do this without you. The vinyls will still be somewhere in the factory. But thank you, Toria, for shipping me this vinyl.
You're welcome. You're more than welcome, guys. Pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Merci, Toria.
De nada.
You're the best.
All right. I know Toria was like, probably get me off the screen. So if you want to come back in, Toria, you let me know, but I'm sure she's good there. Okay, yeah, she didn't give me a thumbs up this time. So, Omizzle, anything else we need to say? Oh, and we need to talk after this about the next cool physical product.
Yes.
So we're gonna start that process. So yes, more is coming your way. But that's it. I just want to thank you, Omizzle, for being you. Toria, you for being you. There's so many people I could thank, but also thank everyone who's watching and embracing everything that we are doing. Much love to you all. We will see you next time. We will find a movie or a book. We've been alternating, right?
Yeah.
So we will find a movie that's more this guy's department. So Omizzle will either find a movie or we'll do a post in the Facebook group. That reminds me, if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. And if you're watching us on Facebook, that means you've already joined our Facebook group. But again, make sure for anyone out there, if you know someone who may be interested in this little club we have where it's movies and books, let them know about it. We are not going to stop Beyond Words. It may slow down at moments as we get busier in life, but we won't stop. That's
what I want to say. That's why we're slowing down also, just so people can know, because we're doing a lot of the family rules, video, vlogs, and just making it consistent. Is that how you say it?
Yes. Making it consistently coming out weekly. Yes.
Very important. So I double dare you to subscribe on Family Rules.
Yes. Double dog dare you.
Great stuff coming up.
Yes, good mention. Yes, that's another reason why Beyond Words is slowed down, but it will never stop. So stay connected, and we'll let you know what the next movie is. Everyone, adios, much love, and practice your HYGGE.
HYGGE. Bye.